Here I am in Paraguay. I've been spending the last week in a beautiful hotel in the city of Asuncion, teaching a class on the 8 Ps. If you know my methodology, you know this is kind of a central framework within the Outthinker process. And when you get these opportunities to force yourself to sit down and think through your entire plan or framework, you know, that could be preparing for an investor presentation, that could be preparing for a pitch. It forces you to just collect everything. And this is what this opportunity was for me, to take this 8P framework, which I have used in my last book and used in many applications with clients, but I never really had an opportunity to really sit down and say, how does this all fit together? And I think that if you look at it, it offers an exciting and simple framework for you to more rapidly reach a point of scale in your business. Design a disruptive growth strategy that allows you to hit exponential growth. And so here's how it goes. It starts with positioning. There are 3 things there. Knowing who your core customer is and is not. 2, knowing what is the fundamental urgent problem that you're going to solve for them. And number 3, knowing how your solution and your brand is different from your competition. That then takes you to the product. You design a product to solve that problem. Knowing who your core customer is allows you to assess what are the attributes of a product they care more about, what do they care less about, and then how can you design a product that overinvests in what they care about by underinvesting what they don't care about. Which then brings us to the next question. How do we get those customers in the door? That's promotion. You build your marketing funnel. How are we going to make them aware? How are we going to get them to consider? How are they going to get them to try? How are we going to get them loyal? How are we going to get them to be advocates? And think through that funnel. When you got those 3 things in place, your positioning, your product, your promotion, then you've got product market fit is what they call it, you know, in Silicon Valley. Next question then becomes, how are you going to monetize it? We go to pricing, and you want to look at what your cost basis is, you want to look at what your competitors' prices are, and you want to look at what is the value that you deliver to your customer. And based off of that, think of the right pricing structure, which then will take us to placement. Now, how am I going to deliver this product? You want to think about where your customers are, when they want to receive it, and how it fits into their lives, and whether you want to use intermediaries to be able to supplement your core product with other ancillary products. With all of that, you kind of have the offer. Next is physical experience. What's the customer journey when they engage with your product or service? Think of it as a play. There's scene 1, there's scene 2, there's scene 3, and each of those scenes, they are thinking something, they're feeling something, they're doing something, and then that provides the key touch points that we need to create for them in order to create a great experience. Having laid out those scenes, you then translate those scenes now as we step into process. How are we going to deliver on each of those scenes? There are things that are in front of the line that the customer sees in each of those scenes that you're delivering. Then behind there are processes, and behind that there are systems. So it allows you to build a machine to be able to consistently deliver that experience, which then brings us to the final stage, which is people. And I put this last, not because I think it's the least important, because I think it's the most important. Looking at your people, say, who do we want to hire to deliver this service? What is our organizational structure? What are the cultural norms that are right for us to deliver this service? And how are we going to organize people and incentivize them? So if you go through those 8 and go through the sub-steps in each of those 8, I think you can take the time it takes for you to design a disruptive business model from, you know, it took Apple like about 2 decades or more in order to figure out what their magic formula was. You don't have to wait 2 decades. If you understand the framework and you experiment and you're constantly adjusting so that you can find that optimal configuration of those choices, you can shorten the time to acceleration dramatically.